So, is AI going to make your financial advisor obsolete? It is, without a doubt, one of the biggest questions in finance right now, and in this explainer, we are going to get to the bottom of it.
But here's the thing. While literally everyone is asking if AI is going to take over, they might be asking the wrong question entirely. Stick with me, because we're about to reframe this whole debate and give you a completely new way to think about the future of your money.
Okay, let's dive right in. On one side, you've got the old way of doing things, and you might recognize some of these feelings, right? These generic, one-size-fits-all boiler plans. A strategy that feels a lot more like just hope than actual science. And at the end of the day, that nagging sense of having no real control. And then, boom, on the other side you have the promise of AI. Data-driven decisions, full automation, and total control over your financial destiny. This is the core conflict that's driving this entire conversation.
So to really get why AI is so tempting, we first have to look at what's broken. Let's really dig into the problems with that traditional model, the stuff that makes an AI alternative sound so good.
This quote, man, it just perfectly captures the whole issue. Boilerplate investing. You know the drill. You give your details, your age, your income, your risk tolerance, and what you get back is a standardized cookie-cutter plan. It's super impersonal, and it often feels like you're just being told, all right, good luck. This can actually force people to scale back their own goals, maybe giving up a dream vacation home or working years longer just to fit into some generic strategy.
And that feeling of having zero control, it's a huge problem, right? You might feel like you're stuck with a 401k that's just treading water, and you're told to just hope the market goes up. Without the right knowledge, it's so easy to feel like you're at the mercy of your advisor, completely unable to hold them accountable. And this breaks like the #1 rule of investing. Never, ever put your money in something you don't understand.
And right into this mess, this whole environment of frustration and helplessness, walks in a powerful new challenger, the algorithm. And it promises to fix everything that's broken with the old way of doing things.
So what are we really talking about here? Well, at its core, an algorithm is just a set of rules a computer follows to solve a problem. Simple as that. You're actually dealing with them constantly. When you apply for a credit card, yep, an algorithm makes that yes or no decision. And as these systems get more and more advanced, they have the potential to automate roles across entire industries, from insurance to mortgage brokering.
And that right there is where all the fear comes from, isn't it? The whole robot takeover thing, the idea that machines are coming for everyone's jobs. But before we get into what AI can actually do, we need to tackle this myth head-on.
The story we keep hearing, the one in all the headlines, is a story of obsolescence. That basically overnight, human advisors, analysts, and managers will all be replaced by lines of code, leaving a huge trail of unemployment behind them. But is that really what's happening?
The reality? It's a lot more interesting than that. We're not really in a phase of replacement. We're in a phase of superstaffing or augmentation. So think of AI less as a replacement and more like a crazy powerful colleague or maybe even a chief of staff. Its main job right now isn't to take your advisor's job, but to make them exponentially better at it.
Okay, so this completely reframes the whole conversation, right? It's time to stop thinking of AI as this big, scary threat and start seeing it for what it actually is, an incredibly powerful tool. We're moving way beyond simple chatbots to something called agentic AI. This is a total game changer. Think of it like this. A chatbot can tell you the weather, but an agentic AI, it can check the forecast, decide you're going to need an umbrella, order one for you online, and have it delivered right to your door. It doesn't just answer questions, it acts. It executes complex, multi-step tasks all on its own.
So what does this actually look like in practice for your finances? Well, just imagine an AI colleague that scans global markets 24/7. It never sleeps. It can perform deep fundamental analysis, sifting through earnings, growth, revenue in the blink of an eye. It can spot both systemic risks, like the health of the entire economy, and non-systemic risks that are specific to just one company. Then, it can filter thousands of potential investments down to the handful that perfectly match your strategy, and finally, it can execute and manage the trades for you. Now that is the power of augmentation.
But, and this is a really big but, we can't just get starry-eyed about the technology without understanding the immense risks that come along with it. This isn't some financial utopia, and believe me, there are some serious dangers lurking just beneath the surface.
First up, let's just follow the money, because the scale of investment here is just staggering. By 2026, global spending on AI is projected to hit over $2 trillion annually. That's
Trillion with a T. We're talking more than the entire GDP of Canada. It's a truly unprecedented amount of capital flooding into this one space. And all that money flooding in, it leads to a huge risk, the ROIC gap. That's the return on invested capital gap. See, there's a massive difference between how much money is being poured into AI and how much revenue it's actually generating. If those investments don't start paying off, and in a big way, we could be looking at a massive market correction. Some analysts are already calling this the AI bubble.
And you can really see it here, right? This massive gap between all the capital being invested in AI and the revenue it's actually bringing in. Sure, companies like OpenAI and Anthropic are seeing some impressive revenue growth, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to the total investment. If that gap doesn't start closing soon, that bubble could absolutely burst.
And it doesn't stop there. You've got other dangers like shadow AI. That's when employees use unapproved AI tools, creating massive security holes nobody even sees. We have total regulatory chaos, with different states creating conflicting laws, leaving companies in this weird legal limbo. And then there's creative destruction, the very real possibility that the AI giants of today could be made totally obsolete tomorrow by some faster, smarter startup.
So, with all this incredible power and all these massive risks, where does that leave the human advisor? Well, it brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole thing, the human X factor, the stuff an algorithm just can't do.
Okay, first things first, let's give the machine its due. The edge AI has is, well, it's undeniable. It gives you completely unemotional analysis free from all the fear and greed that trip us up. It can watch the markets 24/7, perform calculations we can't even comprehend, access datasets larger than any library on Earth, and follow a set of rules with perfect, unwavering discipline.
But the human advantage? Well, that's in a totally different world. An algorithm can't manage your temperament. When the market is tanking and your gut is screaming sell, an algorithm can't talk you off that ledge. It doesn't understand your unique life goals, like that you want to retire early to travel the world. It can't build a relationship based on trust and accountability. A good advisor helps you navigate all that fear and ambiguity, making sure your decisions are driven by discipline, not by impulse. In the end, your success so often depends on your temperament, and that's a human domain.
And all of this, it brings us to the final, and honestly, the most critical point of all. In this new world of AI colleagues and human advisors, there is one asset that becomes more valuable than anything else: your own knowledge.
And this right here, this is the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. It's not about firing your advisor and hiring a computer. It is about educating yourself so you can have a meaningful, intelligent dialogue with them. When you understand the fundamentals, you can ask the right questions, you can hold them accountable, and you can act as a collaborator in your own financial future, not just a blind follower.
So, you see, this is the new paradigm. The fight isn't AI versus human. The winner is going to be the educated investor who knows how to leverage the strengths of both. You use AI as your powerful research assistant, your tireless data analyst, and you use your human advisor for wisdom, for temperament management, and for strategy. Your financial education is the bridge that connects the two.
So we're right back where we started, but now we have a totally new perspective. The real question isn't some passive thing about whether a machine will take a job. Nope. The question is active, and it's all about you. Are you willing to gain the knowledge you need to thrive in this new era? Are you ready for your new AI colleague?